All right, I call the Mayville Residential Sex Offender Board meeting at 5:30. Take the roll.
Alderperson DeBaker.
Here.
Alderperson Smith.
Here.
Alderperson Henkel. Alderperson Newman.
Here.
Alderperson Olson.
Here.
Alderperson Levenow is absent, but we do have a quorum.
All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any citizen comments tonight?
I'm sorry?
Citizen comments?
You're a citizen, so you want to speak, you may.
There will be, Kim, there's a different section in the agenda for him to
Okay.
speak on his behalf.
Okay, seeing none, approve the minutes of August 12th, 2024 Residential Sex Offender Board meeting. Just one up, wait some more to get the meeting approved, minutes approved.
We haven't had one since.
Right.
I could probably toss this one on council
Okay.
since it's the same body.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second that.
Motion made by Newman, second by DeBaker.
You're welcome.
Any corrections or additions to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Overview of petition process and meeting procedures by city attorney.
Thank you. Patrick Madden, attorney for the city of Mayville. There's been a petition filed for an exemption from the restrictions contained in the Mayville ordinance. Pull it up here. Under chapter 357 of the Mayville Code of Ordinances. So the petition has been filed, the application fee has been paid. The first step in this procedure is to defer to the chief of police for a determination as to whether or not the conviction or the status of the petitioner fits within the restrictions, fits within the ordinance. So I refer first to the chief of police.
Evening.
Evening.
Just to kind of give you a little bit of a background, I received some information that Mr. Vogelman was living and residing within the city. I did go to the residence and speak with his significant other and verified that it was him and that, and we ran him through the National Crime Information Bureau, determined that what his case was, verified that. I did talk with him over the phone a couple of times to confirm that. And looking at his case, where he was required by Washington County courts to register as a sex offender, like I'm registrant. The case itself did involve a child juvenile under the age of 18. And because of that, and the case, the scope of that case, it does fit our ordinance. One of the stipulations in our ordinance is if the case does involve a child, then they cannot live within 1,200 feet of a school, church, park, or anywhere that children congregate. So we looked at that very closely. I did speak with him a number of times. He's been very cooperative. It was actually a pleasure to talk with him. He understood what the process was in that. But because of the way our ordinance is written, what it says, the elements of his case that he was charged with and convicted of, and that it did involve a child, it does fit the ordinance. And because of that, I gave him a 10-day notice on March 3rd to vacate the address. I did speak with him in the meantime, did explain to him that he can contest it with the residency board, which is why we're here tonight, and the process of that. So that is my involvement inside and out. The actual facts of the case, are in the criminal complaint, which is included in your packet. That kind of explains the circumstances of it. I didn't get real in depth with that just because the one element is if it's a juvenile, then it fits our ordinance, you know, based on my opinion of that. So that's as far as I got.
There's just one clarification, the definition of a child that you just used in your report was someone under the age of 18, but our definition of a child is someone under the age of 16. The complaint does allege the violation was committed against someone under the age of 16, and so is that why you concluded that it does fit that ordinance?
Yes, the age of the individual in that case was 13 at the time of the complaint. So that's the-
Okay, so your conclusion is that this particular applicant, the status fits within the definition of our ordinance.
Right.
Okay, so then that's all I have for you. The next step moves to the applicant to provide extraordinary facts or circumstances, it's not extraordinary facts or circumstances to the board that would justify the board voting to grant an exception or a waiver of the restrictions contained within our ordinance. So the burden now shifts to the applicant to provide those facts or circumstances or to give justification for the board to grant an exception or waiver. You're up.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming.
You can take the podium if you want.
First, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I know that you got to be somewhere else, as would I. I'd just like to say that me and my partner did not choose this community by random. She works at Gleason Rail and has been for the last 3.5 years. Our son is in daycare here. I'm in pool league here. You know, we've developed friends here throughout this community, business owners. You know, we lived outside in the rest of Lamira for the last 4 or 5 years, and that's how we kind of established our roots here. And the reason for moving here is, you know, to make life a little bit more easy on us financially. And it's a beautiful community. I would love to raise my kids here. And yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. I appreciate you guys' time and opportunity.
Anybody have questions?
What are you doing for work right now?
I'm in construction.
You work for yourself or you work for
No,
someone
I
else?
work for someone else.
And who's that?
Mike Beal, out of Fond du Lac, be a home improvement.
Anybody else? You know, I got a question. You know, typically when people come or we're asking for a waiver, typically they have some kind of a ties to the city of Malin, whether their family lives here, you know, or they're employed with the city, you know, stuff like that.
My fiance is employed here.
I understand that, but you're not technically married at this point in time, so.
Okay.
But typically, there would need to be some kind of relations with the city, you know, some kind of ties. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I believe I just gave you several reasons and ties to this community. I have friends here that live here. I have business owners here. I play up in pool league here. My girl works here. My son's in daycare here. That's a lot of ties. That's 5, if I counted that right. So I don't know what else you would really like to do.
Okay.
You by Chris or Christopher?
Chris is fine.
Okay, if you don't mind, Mayor, I got a couple of questions. You did provide the fact that your fiance worked at Gleason Rail for 3 to 4 years. That you're on pool league here. You testified that you work for someone in Fond du Lac. Your kids go to daycare here. You have just these 2 kids?
Yeah.
You live with your fiance here in town?
Yes.
You have another?
If I may, I also have a letter that was given to you guys by a certified MD. And this is, do you have that with you? Has everyone had the chance to read that? I did. Okay, I appreciate that. Because I think that, that's pretty important here.
Was that part of the application that was filed?
There was never ever any treatment, given by me, to me.
Well, let me ask you, I follow up on a couple of, so your probation was revoked, correct?
Can we get back to the letter first, please, and get the facts on that? And then I can answer your question.
What facts in the letter you
Well, it's just that everybody read it and, just what involves a summary of everything that's in that paperwork.
The application included a statement of informed consent, sex offender assessment report screening, sex offender assessment report, and the letter from the management company. That's what was submitted in the application.
Well, it's a very thorough, questionnaire based on psychosex therapy here. I'm saying that right? And it paints a pretty good picture for you.
Are you talking about the letter by Letitia?
No, that's from my landlord.
The sex offender assessment report screening that was signed by Jason Christina, psychologist.
For Dodge County Correctional Institution. It wasn't one that I bought and paid for or anything. It was one by the state.
That was the back.
Correct.
And is it does it look like this? This is what we're talking about? Yeah.
Mhm.
This, okay. Is this what you're talking about, Chris? This, it looks like a fill in the box type.
There's 4 pages, I believe. So
Okay, but this is
summaries is,
the sex offender assessment report.
Yes,
screening?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Yeah, I did read that. Okay. Is that the only question you have on that as far as whether that was read by?
Well, I just, you can take whatever I say for face value, but, that to me is a little important for everybody to see.
I'm just fleshing out, I don't vote on this, I'm just fleshing out a couple
That's
things.
okay, but,
I read in CCAT that your probation was revoked. Can you explain that?
what would you like to know?
Why was it revoked?
Because I drank.
Okay,
Probation has rules you're not supposed to drink. Can I ask what that has to do with why we're here in the sex offender, in sex offender regards? I'm here
I
because of my
don't
sex
know,
case.
I didn't know what the reason was.
Well, I know, but you're getting a little off topic.
No, I'm
I
not.
want to focus on my sex case and the things that have to do that surround that, not,
I had no idea why your probation was revoked.
I understand what you're doing.
Please.
Just want to stay on top.
Okay. Are you currently facing the 4th offense OWI in Washington County now?
What does that have to do with right now, sir?
Well, we're looking to give you a waiver, right? So you're petitioning for a waiver, so
Right.
we need to know all the facts of your history of any kind of problems
Yes, I
with
did.
the
Yes,
law.
I did get it for him. And my one prior to that was over 16 years ago. And then before that, 16 years ago. I was cooperative, there was no accidents. I was in jail for a few days, I bailed out, and went back to responsibility.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand it, that the fact, all the facts and circumstances that you want this body to consider in deciding whether to grant you a waiver or an exception to the ordinance, the restrictions of the ordinance, are the facts that you've described so far today, and that is that your fiance lives here in Mayville and works at Police and Rio for the last 3 to 4 years, and you're on pool league in Mayville, and that your kids are in daycare in Mayville. Is there anything else that you wanted to provide?
No, sir.
Those are the questions I had.
All right, anybody else have any questions?
I do. Were you underage at the
Yes.
time as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anybody else?
Under the age of what, ma'am?
18.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, what's that?
Probably going to number 7.
All right, any other questions on 6.1 of the review of the petitioner, Christopher Vogelman? You guys read the report from the Mayville Police Department?
Yep.
Any questions? All right, 7, discuss, deliberate, and action on the appeal. So, I guess at this point, if someone wants to overturn the law or ordinance, you can make a motion to,
But it wouldn't be overturning the ordinance, it would be granting an exception or a waiver of the restrictions contained in the ordinance.
all right, so is there a motion? All right, is there a motion? Last time, is there a motion?
Someone needs to move. Someone needs to move to grant
Grant for the waiver,
To grant or
the
deny.
waiver.
right? I don't think anybody's making that motion.
We have to, don't we?
I would have someone move,
I'll make the
Grant it.
motion.
you move to grant the exception.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it. Don't let me down. And don't bring your kids stuff like this anymore either.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Then you should have a roll call vote, and
I will roll vote. So again, this is to vote to allow the exception to our sex offender ordinance law that would allow Mr. Vogelman to reside where he's currently at in the city. Alderperson Henkel.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
Aye.
Alderperson Newman.
No.
Alderperson Smith.
No.
Alderperson DeBaker.
No.
Motion fails.
All right, there's a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second
All right, motion to adjourn at 5:50. All those in favor, say aye.
that.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have a question. May I ask a question?
Hold on. They've adjourned, so you cannot ask the body if